Yo, what's good, guys? It's Austin here, or Luna. So I think it's safe to say that I've officially recovered from COVID, so I am back to my daily upload schedule. So expect a video every day between 5 p.m. and 7:30, usually. Sometimes a little later, sometimes a little earlier, depending on how quick your boy can be. But today's story time is a pretty interesting one. If you enjoy it, leave a like on the video, and let's jump into it. So today's story time is about the time that me and my homies stole a four-wheeler from my school. Yeah, I'll get into more detail because there's a whole lot of context behind this, okay? So today's story time all starts off as a regular day in 2014, okay? Now, in 2014, I would say that's probably the year where I definitely started being, like, a little bit more of a shithead slash, like, rebellious teenager type. I had just started hanging out with this new group of friends, and they weren't, like, the worst kids on earth, but they definitely weren't good kids either. And yeah, I occasionally would do some stupid stuff with them, and this was definitely the stupidest. So this all starts off as a normal day in 2014. I was at school. It was midday. Me and my friends had just left gym class, and we were going to the cafeteria because it was lunchtime, aka the best time of any school day, in my opinion. And we sat down at our table in the back of the lunchroom, and we're just hanging out, talking, doing what we would usually do, eating our food, chilling, right? And I had this one friend in our group. We'll just call him Skylar, okay? Skylar was kind of like the leader of the group, I would say. Like, anytime we had nothing to do or, like, we didn't know what to do, Skylar was kind of the dude that would, like, make the plans or, like, you know, host everybody. Like, we were hanging out after school. We'd all go to Skylar's house usually. So we're at the lunchroom, and Skylar goes, "Yo, what are you guys doing after school?" And I'm like, "Nothing. Just gonna play some COD probably." Everyone said the same thing. And he goes, "How about we stay after and then, like, go across the street, get food, hang out over there for a little bit, and then we'll take the after school bus home. That way we can kick it a little bit outside of school." And I was like, "Yeah, man, sounds good to me. Like, sounds fun." And everybody else agreed. So yeah, that was the plan. After school was over that day, we were gonna stay after, but instead of staying after with a teacher and, like, doing work or going to, like, a study hall, we were going across the street, getting burgers, hanging out there for like an hour, and then coming back to school and then taking the after-school bus home, which you weren't supposed to do, by the way. Like, you were only supposed to stay after school if you had a reason to, aka, like, detention, like an after-school, like, study hall thing, or, like, you know, working with a teacher. Basically, you couldn't stay after school to hang out with your friends like we were doing and go across the street and get burgers. Well, anyway, fast forward a couple hours later, it was the end of the school day. Class was about to let out. I was very excited because I was going to hang out with all my friends and go get some food. I was kind of hungry again, so I was stoked, right? And the bell rings, class lets out, school lets out. Me and all of my friends all meet Skylar at his locker. We kick it there for about 20 minutes, and then after that, when the school was kind of emptied out, we left school and we go across the street. We get burgers. We're there for like an hour, hour and a half, and then we kind of lost track of time, and we ended up missing the after-school bus. Now, I lived nowhere near my school at the time. I was probably like 6 or 7 miles away, so, like, I'm not walking home. That's a long fucking walk, and I have no ride. Our friends didn't drive at the time. I didn't know anybody that drove at the time. I was pretty fucked. So I'm kind of freaking out, and the rest of my friends, like, half of them are kind of freaking out because they also live far away, but the other half live like 2 minutes away, so it was a very mixed reaction to missing the bus, to say the least. So I really only have two choices. I walk home, or I call my mom and just be like, "Hey, Ma, I missed the after-school bus. Can you come pick me up?" And that was a pretty good option. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. So that's what I told my friends. I was like, "Yo, I'm going to go back to school, call my mom, get her to pick me up there. But yeah, I'm going to go wait outside of the school." And then Skylar is like, "Yo, can your mom take me home too? Because, like, my parents don't stop working until like 8 p.m. and, like, they work nights, so I can't get a ride right now." And I was like, "All right, let me ask her." So I called her again. I was like, "Hey, Ma, can you take Skylar home too?" She was like, "Sure, but that's it." I'm like, "Okay." So me and Skylar had a ride home. The rest of everybody else either walked home or called their parents. So everybody got a ride home okay, or they walked home because they lived close enough. So that was all good. So fast forward about 10 minutes later, me and Skylar are back across the street. We're at our school. We're waiting on the stairs. We're just sitting there, just on the stairs, waiting for my mom to come pick us up. And it's just me and him at this point. Everybody else already left and went home, or the people that were waiting for rides were across the street at the burger restaurant waiting for rides. So it was just me and Skylar by ourselves at our school. And at our school, the way it was set up was there was the front where we were, and then if you walked like 20 steps, there was like the side field that would lead to the back of the school, and that's where like the soccer field was and where like football practice was and stuff and where the gym was. And on the side field, pretty much like right where we were sitting in near, there was this four-wheeler that the security guards would use. They were almost never on it, but it would always be parked in the same spot when they weren't using it. It was right on the side of the school in that little field, and it was like straight out of a movie. Me and Skylar both looked at it at the same time, and we looked back at each other, and he goes, "Yo, get a picture of me on it." And he jumps up and he runs over there and he sits down on it. And I pull up my phone, and I take a photo of him, and he goes, "Yo, they left the keys inside." And I go, "Get the fuck out of here." And without hesitation, he didn't like point to him. He didn't like say, "Come here and look." He just turns them and turns this fucking thing on. And it's loud. It's like fucking like motorcycle loud, dude. And once again, without hesitation, he just takes off. He just throttles this thing like full speed where it's like kicking dirt behind him. And he like does a little burnout and just drives off into the backfield of the school, just going super fast and going in laps. And keep in mind, our school is having soccer practice. So the gym teacher can see this, and I can see him yelling at Skylar, but Skylar does not slow down because he can't hear him, and he's just whipping around the soccer field, loving every minute of it. And he does 2 laps around the soccer field. The gym teacher tries to chase him, but obviously doesn't catch up. And then he drives all the way back to where we are, gets off, and he's like, "Yo, you gotta take a spin on this thing." Now, at this point, I had 2 choices. I either take a spin on it, I drive it, and also get in a shit ton of trouble, or I can stand there and do nothing and let the gym teacher come over to us and just yell at both of us anyway, and probably get in no trouble compared to Skylar. But like I said, back then I was kind of a little bit of a shithead, so I was like, you know what? I'm doing it. So I jumped on it, hit the fucking throttle. I peeled off right past my gym teacher. At this point, he was like right up to us. Like he ran right to the front of the school, and I blew right by him. And I did 2 laps around the soccer field, just like Skylar. Once again, gym teacher was chasing me. And then I drove back to the front, got off it, pulled the keys out the ignition, put them on the seat, and then I went back to sitting down on the stairs. And about 2 minutes later, the gym teacher runs up to us, and he's like, "What the hell was that? You boys are in so much trouble. When I say stop, you stop. You don't keep going. You could have killed somebody. You could have killed yourself." Just yelling, right? Like going crazy at us. And of course, the most unfortunate timing, while he's yelling at us, my mom pulls up to the front of the school, and she rolls the window down, and she's like, "What's going on here?" And my gym teacher's like, "Are you his mother?" And she's like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, your son and this boy right here, Skylar, just took the school ATV and drove around and did burnouts and thought they were so cool." And she was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, like he could have hurt someone at my soccer practice. He could have hurt himself." Just basically saying the same stuff I had already heard. And my mom's like, "Are you serious, Austin? Like, really? Like, you think that's a good idea? Stealing the school security vehicle with no helmet, riding around full speed? Like, that's dangerous." And I was like, "Hey, all right, listen. If anything, I want to let it be known, the school left that right there with the keys of the ignition. It's kind of their fault, too." And she goes, "I don't care. You know better. Get in the car. We'll talk about it on the way home." And me and Skylar start getting in the car. And the gym teacher goes, "Just so you guys know, I'm telling the principal. You're going to be hearing from her tomorrow." And sure enough, the next day, when me and Skylar both walked into school, security was waiting for us at the front door. They escorted us right to the principal's office, and she suspended both of us instantly. We got 2 days suspension. One was out of school. One was like in school in the little study hall room. So yeah, me and Skylar definitely got in some trouble. So yeah, guys, moral of this story is don't do what I did in this story time, even though it's kind of hilarious and was a very fun story to tell. Yeah, I definitely could have hurt myself. So, don't go doing that. But yeah, still a good story, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below, and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys all later. Peace. I be in LA, I be on my